everybody. Contrary to popular belief, YouTube is actually a real job. I know a lot of people don't think that, but trust me, it is. And on occasion, it can actually feel a lot like hard work. And today's not one of those days. You see, today I have the very difficult and unenviable task of piloting a beautiful blue Jaguar C-Type replica along the gorgeous roads of Fife up here in Scotland. And today's not really a review, if I'm being totally honest. Today is more of a philosophical rambling about the nature of cars, enjoyment and everything else. Over the last few months, like a lot of us, I've been thinking more about what's important to me, and by extension what's important to the channel and to all of you. Sometimes I'll be able to do a fairly in-depth review, look at a car in great detail, analyse whether it's worth your hard-earned or not. A Bentley Continental GT video, I think a lot of you felt was the case. But other times it's more just a little look at an aspect of motoring or life itself that perhaps I've ignored or overlooked or just never really considered. Now, as a Brit, Jaguar, of course, is a brand which I've always somewhat admired. However, it's often been from a distance. There's quite a few Jags I could very much see myself owning. The XKRS, for example. Well, I actually somewhat grown to like the F-Type too after a sort of slow burn period of not really liking it. When a chap called Matt got in touch and said, "Do you want to drive my Jag?" I said, "Oh, well, what is it?" And he showed me a picture of this and I said, absolutely, I certainly do. So what are we looking at today? Well, this is a Realm Replica C-Type. The chassis itself is a combination of aluminium and steel with a fiberglass body. It's a pretty good looking thing, which of course it would be, because the original C-Type is. Now, in order to build one of these things, you're going to need, obviously, the kit, but also a couple of donor pieces too. Now, the important donor cars here are a 1980s XJ, which have given it its 3.4 litre engine, 5-speed manual gearbox. You've also got the limited slip differential here from an XJS. You've also got a suspension, which is made up of different pieces from different Jags, so it's a reasonably authentic production. Is about 200 horses, and in an old-fashioned chassis that weighs some 900 kilos, it's adequate. Of course, for any car to be enjoyable, it has to work, so the C-Type does have a couple of concessions to modernity. It's got a Bluetooth controlled ignition system on it, which is rather trick, and more entertainingly, hidden behind the grille at the front is a large spotlight for getting pesky drivers out of the way. And you'll find the switch for that to the side of your right knee. Makes a great noise and it feels the business. Now, what else have I driven that would be remotely similar to this? Well, not the Cougar. Definitely not that. Now, you might think that it should be a similar experience, being a kit car built out of a load of Jaguar pieces. And that should, in theory, perhaps be a slightly better handling car, being a later design, but it's not. This feels considerably safer and more planted at speed. By speed, I mean pretty much the national speed limit. I'm not going to push on much harder than that. You've got a reasonable amount of feel through the steering wheel. It ducks and weaves and follows the camera of the road a fair bit. It's actually quite comfortable. As you can probably tell, it's reasonably noisy. But mostly wind noise, to be fair. There are, as I mentioned, 5 ratios in this box, so it means that when you do want to cruise along, actually it's pretty comfortable and refined. And that is important, because you see, this isn't a car that just sits in the corner of a garage and makes an annual appearance when the sun is shining and the wind is still, only to tuck away for another 12 months. Oh no. In the 18 months since Matt built this car, and he did build it, he's done 10,000 miles. This is his commuter car, and he takes it out all year round as well. I mean, You would if you could, wouldn't you? That is a man after our own hearts, I think we can all agree. My hat off to him. I wouldn't recommend wearing a hat in this car because you won't have it on for all that long. Braking is by discs on all four corners. I'm going to give those a little test now. Oh, they do work, although the car will follow the camber and the angle of the road off to the side a little bit. The gearbox is tricky. It's a very short throw, very direct, incredibly notchy. It's got a fair weight to it. But because of the positioning of the shifter, you do articulate the entire thing off of your shoulder. It's the shortest throw, and the gears aren't exactly where you think they're going to be. They all sit in correct relation to one another, but the whole axis is shifted down from where you think it might be. So when I thought I was in sort of neutral, actually, I was already in third. There are some small little screens on this thing, keeping the worst of the wind off of us. That being said, I think my ear's just been cut in half by a fly. Now, the other thing about cars like this, and I've discussed this in a number of videos, is the fact that this really highlights, I think, what cars really should be about, and what I think in truth they actually are for most of us. It's not about what's the quickest thing, and in fact, Matt himself put it better than I think I probably ever could. He said, when's the last time your mates phoned you up and said, bring some beers over, we're turning the microwave on? I cannot think, in my professional capacity as a YouTuber, of a better analogy. I'm not even sure this car's really a barbecue. This car's more, we're going to have dinner and all we're going to start with is an axe and a slightly concerned looking pig. I'm no Jaguar historian. I know this was an incredibly successful racing car back in its day, and a real one commands a serious amount of money. In fact, there were actually some replicas made in the 1980s by a company called Peter J, or a man by the name Peter J. Those were tool room copies, what now we would probably call a continuation car. The fact is that those replicas are now themselves worth some £400,000. Now, this car's been through a number of engines. I believe this is the 5th, and that's for a variety of different reasons. The problem with these Jaguar kit cars being made up of old Jaguar bits is that for a number of years people have been sacrificing these old things to build this kind of stuff with. And that means that there aren't as many to choose from as there once were, and of course the donor vehicles themselves are now rising in value. They also aren't always in the best of condition. And so if you wanted to build one of these to the highest possible specification, it is of course easy to spend a hell of a lot more money than you strictly need to. You put 10 grand on an engine rebuild, for example. I'm sure you could go and put some amazing concourse winning paint on it if you so like. But this car to me is in exactly the condition you'd want for a car like this. There's 6 spark plugs in a holder down there, because that's what you'd have done. That's how you would have had this sort of thing. The view out the front is spectacular. It's exactly, precisely what you would expect it to be. Got all these vents up there, got big haunches, absolutely beautiful. I'm told with this relatively decent power output, narrow rear tyres and limited slip diff, it's good for a bit of sliding action. I'm not going to indulge in that, I'm really not, because to be honest, I'm enjoying myself too much as it is. These seats actually fit me quite well. I mean, I'm pretty much moulded into it, I'll be honest. The harnesses are good, and I could spend a long old time in here. But why did Matt commit to buying something like this? Well, actually, he was thinking of buying an Aston Martin to celebrate his midlife crisis with. And then his dad just went, oh, really? And so he thought, actually, for the last few years, he'd been going to the Le Mans Classic. And when he'd gone there, he'd become fascinated with the C-Types. And he decided, I'll have one of those. So he has. As toys go, it's pretty good. Like I said, a number of these kit cars I've driven have had a driving experience which have been, well, terrifying, if I'm honest. The Cougar, yeah, it was a bit interesting. But this, it's not fast, but actually you know exactly what it's doing, and so you actually really enjoy it rather than suffer it. And on an almost sunny day in Scotland, that's a rare thing, I know, I actually couldn't think of many better, more entertaining ways to get around than this. What's your dream car? This isn't mine, but it is Matt's, and I'm so glad he made it happen and then involved me in the process. Anyway, that's a little look at a Jaguar of a different kind. Please like, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all for the next one. Bye-bye.